One event had players flying, fans screaming, and games that felt like the Stanley Cup final. The other, a glorified skills competition with no defense and zero intensity. And this divergence between the Four Nations face-off and the traditional NHL All-Star Game format has ignited debate throughout the hockey world, forcing both fans and league officials to confront fundamental questions about what midseason hockey should look like. The numbers tell an undeniable story. Declining All-Star Game viewership against packed arenas for international competition. But beyond the statistics lies a deeper discussion about hockey's competitive soul and what fans truly value. Today, we're putting these two head-to-head to see which truly gives hockey fans what they deserve. We'll examine how the NHL's bold experiment with the Four Nations face-off might reshape the future of professional hockey entertainment. But first, I know that 93% of you watching right now aren't subscribed, so if you're into hockey content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming videos. Now, let's get into it. As many of you already know, the NHL's Four Nations face-off running from February 12th to 20th marks a decisive shift in how the league approaches midseason competition. Four hockey powers, Canada, Finland, Sweden, and the US, are facing off at Montreal's Bell Centre and Boston's TD Garden in a tournament that replaces this year's All-Star Game. The format is pretty straightforward, a round-robin structure with clear stakes, 3 points for regulation wins, 2 for overtime victories, and 1 for overtime losses. The tournament's competitive integrity shows in its overtime format. Round-robin games feature 10-minute, 3-on-3 sudden death periods, followed by shootouts if necessary. The championship game strips away even these modern additions, returning to pure sudden death hockey with 20-minute periods until a winner emerges. This commitment to traditional competition has produced immediate results. The US-Canada matchup saw 3 fights in the first 9 seconds, setting the tone for a tournament where every shift matters. NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman's announcement of this tournament at the 2024 All-Star Game signaled the league's recognition that change was necessary, and the Four Nations face-off serves as more than just an alternative to the All-Star Game. It's a bridge to future international competitions, including the 2026 and 2030 Winter Olympics and the World Cup of Hockey in 2028 and 2032. The tournament's success lies in its authenticity. Players compete with playoff-level intensity because the games matter, the format matters, and the outcome matters. This intensity stands in stark contrast to recent All-Star Games, where the fundamental spirit of competition is gradually eroded. Remember when the NHL All-Star Game carried meaning? When players would actually compete, show defensive effort, and treat the event as more than just an obligatory appearance? Well, unfortunately, those days have faded, leaving behind a shell of what was once hockey's midseason celebration. The All-Star Game's decline stems from a simple truth. There's nothing at stake. Players mindful of injury risks during a grueling NHL season just go through the motions. Without impact on standings or meaningful recognition, the game has devolved into a casual skate. The 3-on-3 format, introduced to inject life into the event, briefly masked these issues, but even this change proved temporary, becoming yet another failed attempt to resurrect interest in a game that had lost its purpose. And the numbers reflect this decline with stark clarity. Viewership continues to drop, arena attendance wanes, even the league's marquee players have begun to opt out, choosing suspension or citing minor injuries rather than participating. Social media, once a platform for celebrating the event's highlights, now primarily serves as a space for cynicism about the game's diminishing relevance. When star players openly choose vacation over representing the league at its showcase event, it reveals a fundamental breakdown in what once made the All-Star Weekend special. This stark contrast between the Four Nations face-off's immediate success and the All-Star Game's steady decline reveals a crucial truth about hockey. Authentic competition, driven by genuine stakes and national pride, will always resonate more deeply than manufactured entertainment. Hey, if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming videos. Alright, back to it. The fundamental difference between these events becomes clear in their on-ice execution. The All-Star Game presents hockey stripped of its essential competitive elements. No defensive structure, no physical play, no strategic depth. Goals come easily and frequently, but each score carries less meaning than the last. The Four Nations Face-Off, by contrast, delivers complete hockey. Every goal matters, every save changes momentum, every hit resonates. The tournament's format demands full engagement from players who understand they're competing for something larger than individual recognition. This disparity in player motivation drives the entire experience. In the Four Nations Face-Off, players step onto the ice carrying the weight of national representation. Their performance contributes to their country's hockey legacy, creating moments that fans and players alike will reference for years to come. The All-Star Game offers no such stakes. Players arrive knowing their primary objective is to avoid injury while providing minimal entertainment value. This fundamental difference in motivation manifests in every aspect of play, from defensive commitment to offensive creativity to physical engagement. The tournament structure itself reinforces these contrasting approaches. The All-Star Game's various format changes, skills competition, fantasy drafts, 3-on-3 periods, represent attempts to manufacture excitement without addressing the core issue of competitive significance. The Four Nations Face-Off, on the other hand, builds excitement through natural hockey progression. Round-robin games establish rivalries and tensions that culminate in a championship match. Each game builds upon the last, creating narrative threads that engage fans on a deeper level than any skills competition could achieve. And responses from fans validates this approach. Viewers consistently demonstrate their preferences for meaningful competition over manufactured entertainment. The All-Star Game's declining viewership isn't just about format fatigue. It directly reflects the fans' fundamental desire to watch hockey that actually matters. The Four Nations Face-Off provides exactly that. Games where every play influences the outcome, where rivalries carry genuine weight, and where the final results become part of hockey's international narrative. Fans invest in these games because they recognize authentic competition when they see it. The passion in the stands at Montreal's Bell Center and Boston's TD Garden speaks to a simple truth. When hockey matters to the players, it matters to the fans. The NHL's decision point about the All-Star Game reflects a broader trend across professional sports. The NBA's recent All-Star Game hit record lows in both effort and entertainment value, with players barely contesting shots and defensive play completely absent. The NFL has recently abandoned traditional Pro Bowl format for flag football, while MLB's All-Star Game continues to search for relevance in a changing sports landscape. These parallel declines suggest that the traditional All-Star format no longer meets the expectations of the modern sports audience. The success of the Four Nations Face-Off presents the NHL with a clear alternative pathway. The league could establish this international tournament as an annual midseason event, creating a consistent platform for national team competition. Alternatively, they might develop a rotating schedule that alternates between the All-Star Game and international tournaments, preserving the traditional showcase while creating space for meaningful competition. The NHL could also consider structural changes to the All-Star format itself, linking performance to playoff seeding or increasing prize money to drive competitive play. Each option requires careful consideration of player workload, broadcast partnerships, and international hockey calendars. The alignment between player preference and fan interest points toward increased international competition. NHL players have consistently praised the Four Nations Face-Off's competitive format, while fans have demonstrated their willingness to invest in games that carry genuine stakes. The tournament's success as a bridge to future Olympic and World Cup competitions suggests a model for regular international play within the NHL season. This would transform the midseason break from an exhibition showcase into a platform for elite competition where national pride and professional legacy intersect. And the stats support going in this direction. Attendance figures, broadcast ratings, and social media engagement all indicate stronger fan connection to international competition than traditional All-Star events. Looking at these two events side by side, there's no contest. One of these events brings out the best in hockey. The other, well, it's just for show. The Four Nations Face-Off gives us everything we love about the sport. The intensity, the pride, the rivalries that make hockey special. While the All-Star Game serves up fancy moves with no meaning, This tournament delivers real hockey that has fans on their feet and players giving everything they've got. The NHL has a decision to make: keep forcing a broken format or embrace the kind of hockey fans actually love. The roaring crowds in Montreal and Boston have already given us their answer. The fights, the celebrations, the pure passion of playing for your country. That's what this sport is all about. Which do you prefer? The Four Nations Face-Off or the NHL All-Star Game? Let us know in the comments. And hey, don't forget to subscribe right now and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming videos. And go ahead and smash that like button. And I'll see you in the next one.